Alrighty, what has happened, people? A little bit of a recap from yesterday. I did take a winning trade. I took this trade here. The live trade is uploaded to YouTube, so if you want to go watch me take it live with the members, you can do that. But yeah, apart from that, so what does that put me up? 6% for the week, 2 wins, 2 break evens. Yeah, really good week so far. Structure, especially in GU, has been perfect. So, and that can be indicated by exactly what happened with yesterday's outlook. So, in terms of what's happening today, that's what we wanted yesterday for EU. Obviously, that did not play out, so we can remove all of this. We can then remove that. Beautiful. So, EU today. Personally, EU today, I actually don't see anything to kind of work with. We reacted off of this point, which did break structure, did create retest, and did push. So it is our last extreme. And inside that point, we did actually create a structure cycle. So we broke and retested and went to push off of that retest. Instead, use this as a smart money trap, pull up, structure cycle to the downside, and then continue to push down. So what I'm kind of seeing off of that is now we're at a 50-50 point. So this was our internal range heading this direction. We've now taken that low, and that is our internal range heading this direction, and we are bearish. So we're at that point of basically 50-50. What I'm going to do is we'll obviously mark that out. We can remove that, keep that there, that's fine. What we will actually do as well is just to symbolize to you guys that we are in that new range. Pardon me. We are going to have that as a bullish break of structure. Okay, which is really clean. All right, so now we're working in that range. We have had an external inducement or internal inducement, however you look at that. And I believe we're going to push higher. Like I said, I want to buy up to this area this week, and complex pullbacks are the hardest thing to trade. So EU has been the worst pair to trade. AU and GU have been very clean. Now off of this, we've obviously got that extreme area, which we've more or less filled entirely. So that's more or less the extreme here, which we've come into. And then we've got the decisional, which we've already more or less taken as well. So off of that, you could have actually traded a sell through there. Hard to sell to catch. There was one on GU, which I did send into the free Telegram and did walk through in the premium as well. This trade here, nothing here, nothing reacting off of this. I would say this inducement will actually lead the market. We had a really good structure cycle form internally already. We've taken that liquidity here. So we've got our 2 inducements away from our medium inducement, and now we are pushing in that opposite direction. So how I'm reading this is buyers are the way to go on EU. Like I said, I want to come up here. This is my draw on liquidity for EU for the week, and we still haven't hit it. So until we hit that, I'm not interested. I want to actually buy through this. So what I'm seeing is this as a smart money trap. I see none of this is more or less valid internally in here anyway. All of this is filled. What we've done is we've got break, area of retest, which we've created internally in here. And now we've come in and we've actually taken that area of retest here. So what I'm expecting is basically a push out, build of liquidity, and something like that up to this area. So I'll need liquidity to build itself above this in this area here off of this smart money trap, where I'll be able to take a buy through trend line and go like this. So break and retest continuation entry model in a complex pullback, the same as the one from AU on Wednesday this week. So that'll be hard to take given what it's currently doing. I wouldn't be surprised if we kind of just opened and pushed up, but I am open to sells off of this point here. We will complete the structure cycle and come into this area here and possibly get a bit of a fall off. Yes, it will probably be an aggressive move, which will make it hard to trade, and it more than likely will be a New York move as well. So, but that's what I'm open to today. I just need to create some liquidity in order to take this nice setup here. Now, GU more or less is the same thing. We are bearish. We have completed the structure cycle perfectly all week. Really good structure cycle. Like I said yesterday, I wanted to sell and create this sell and take this sell. It ended up coming. There ended up being a pretty A+ New York setup here, but I was able, like I said, to take the buy into that sell, which is exactly what I drew up yesterday. Was very clean in that sense. Now off of that, we've pulled down and we've actually taken that next low. This was that next break of structure internally. Like I said, we are in that complex pullback. So now we've had that pull down and that take of liquidity. It's decided to induce. So what we've got now, we've got nice inducement. It's then pulled down and done the same thing as what EU did. Nice inducement off of this point here. So really, really nice demand, supply to demand. And then we've pushed up, come into this area of decisional, come into this area of extreme, which I expect to be a smart money trap. Yes, we have built liquidity to the downside and we are bearish. It can definitely react off of this. We've actually got an imbalance up here as well. So this point internally here is actually still valid. But because we did complete that structure cycle to break here, because this is our low break here, it's going to make it very, very interesting. Okay, we've had the one touch, we've had the second touch. I'm actually open to selling GU. I am open to it once we take this high. So what I'm open to on GU, what I don't think will hold, but it is a possibility. We will get an inducement of a decisional into the mitigation of extreme. I'm more than happy to actually have this build up and look at taking that trade there, at least down to the next position. You've got a nice inducement here off of this area. You've then got a nice inducement off of this area here. So really, really clean. Realistically, I would just be targeting the 50% of Asia. And then that's possibly where we may actually better buy back up. So I'm actually open to sells here to then buy up and take that liquidity. Yeah, GU has lots of potential today. Just sells at the higher potential go. We've got that inducement into mitigation that didn't occur in here. We've got a small imbalance. That is the extreme area of this break. So we've got high to low, structure cycle completed. We did complete the structure cycle internally here, but that's more or less the decisional of this break. You've got extreme, decisional, pull down, medium inducement, mitigation, and sell off. So that'll be the first go. And then next, if this is a trap, which it's looking like it's going to be, I'm actually quite happy to trade off of the next inducement, which will be this internal break, internal retest, which did take internal break and retest. So this will be a medium inducement. It'll give us our 50% of Asia entry model as well. And then we'll be able to trade that back up. So lots of quality coming in today on GU. I really like this opportunity. So yeah, we may actually be able to do something with that. This is also a decisional demand to supply, supply to demand. So holds lots of value in that sense, and really, really good inducements all the way down, which is really, really clean. So I like this inducement. That's a very clean inducement. But buyers are in control at the moment. If we decide to kind of fall off first, I am open to actually taking that buy early and treating this area as a smart money trap. I'm just not sure where it's going to induce. It can induce this low, it can induce this low, and it can also induce into the area of this break here. So that'll make it a lot more difficult. I would much rather sell, get the sell, and then look to partial out and then look to buy and kind of hedge and use both sides of the market, because the sells are the high quality areas at the moment. Now on AU, we've more or less done the same thing, except I'm only kind of seeing this as bearish realistically. So we came into this area here, which did complete that internal structure cycle in there. Yes, we've got an imbalance here, and that's our bigger range. Because you had break, area of retest, and then push out, which is now, that was our range. We've now externally induced, pull down. This area here should be a trap. Yes, it's completed the structure cycle. We've then come in and taken the internal retest of this point, and we're sitting in this area now, which is a seller's point. We now need to just see if this is a trap. We haven't got a lot to work from off of this. This is kind of the next inducement here, which didn't take much, so that's kind of shit. But I would more or less be expecting AU to give us something like that. That's quite a nice movement. This area, yes, it's the decisional of this break. Yes, you're completing the structure cycle into this area, but I would say it's going to treat this as a smart money trap. This more or less is retest of this break as well. So it's very, very 50-50. Is this retest or is this a take of retest? There's kind of multiple options there. So I'm open to that. Coming into the session on AU to complete that structure cycle to the downside. And this will create really, really good liquidity to that downside as well. This is actually a decisional to an extreme. Like I said, that's our structure cycle here. Decisional demand to supply. It may have actually just taken that. Yeah, it looks like it took it, which more or less this is retest, which means this will more likely be treated as a smart money trap. So I'm open to that. This will just be off liquidity. I don't see any break and retest, any type of entry models there. This will just be a smart money trap continuation. Much lower win rate on those, so a lot harder. DXY makes sense to kind of give us a bit of reaction off of this area. If my internet wants to load. So we've created that liquidity. We've come into the area of decisional. We've pushed up, taken that liquidity. I would expect us to kind of flush through and sell down to the downside with that inducement into mitigation of an area. All week structure. I would be expecting, realistically, that, which I think is what I drew out yesterday. So really, really good structure to end the week. Let's make sure we finish the week off strong, trade correctly, be patient. It has been a very good week of price action considering the first 2 days were awful. So stay patient. I'll update you guys. If I see anything, I'll update the premium group with what I'm seeing as well. And then in that free Telegram, let you guys know what I'm looking at if anything changes. So any questions, drop them below. Premium group in the description, free Telegram, free Discord also in the description. Let's finish this week off strong. I've got a couple of case studies coming, so stay tuned for that, and a weekly recap as well. So let's finish the week off strong.